Everybody, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and I am reading angel cards for you today for the week beginning Monday the 29th of October to Sunday the 4th of November 2018, drawing a card from each different deck. So starting from Monday the 29th, and I'm using a deck, this is somewhat risky, a deck that I'm not very familiar with, but that will challenge me to really tune into what comes up. Whoa, I've got some strong cards here. So firstly, giving birth. Now, that sounds intense, but it's not necessarily literal, although maybe it is. So this is about bringing new ideas into the world, bringing through projects you've been working on, beliefs or ways of living, whatever it is. I feel that they really are asking you not to sit on the fence here, to actually do what you've been thinking about, to follow through and make it happen, to do it. No procrastinating. And the other message here is about intuition. I mean, we pretty much get this message every week in some form or another, but it does bear repeating and reminding because we do forget to trust the messages that you receive from your intuition. They are legit. And I feel that the reason that's come through with this is to remind you that your ideas are divinely guided. They have come through from spirit, so you need to trust them. And if you're not sure, ask for a sign. You can get information about signs on my blog, by the way, if you just put signs in the search field. I get asked probably every week to repeat myself on signs, so I don't want to do it again because I get very tired. But it's all there. If you want to find it, go do it. So I do feel that because we're in the sign of Scorpio now, which is a very intuitive sign, not saying that if you're not in Scorpio, you're not intuitive, because everybody is, but I feel that the energy around this idea is very strong at the moment of us. The intuition is coming through more strongly. So maybe those messages you've been trying to ignore, or you maybe not trying to ignore, but you just have been because they don't seem right to you, they're going to get louder. So the best thing you can do is listen and actually pay attention to them. And that card is letting you know that those messages are right. So looking at Tuesday now. Oh, that's not the right one. Interesting. Solar plexus chakra, that is the energy center associated with power and control. Now, we think of control as a bad thing, but it's not really about being over controlling. Or maybe it is, if that's an issue for you. Maybe this card is flagging you're trying to control too much instead of letting the universe guide you. A very Scorpio tendency, I might add. Guilty. So there's a couple of things that could be going on for you. It might be coming up because you're not taking control of your life in the areas you need to. Maybe you're letting people push you into things that are not right for you. Or maybe you're trying to control too much, and particularly if you're trying to control other people's choices. Because sometimes we want other people to make choices that, because they will affirm our own, or they'll make us feel better about our own choices. I know I've told this story before, but I had a friend who left her job to go freelance, and people were really threatened by that in the industry and was saying, you can't do that, you can't give up such a prestigious job to do that. It's too volatile, it's too unsteady, and it's because they personally felt threatened. If people are doing the same thing as you, they're parenting their kids the same way as you are parenting your kids, they're going to the same church you're going to, they're condemning the same things you're condemning, they're voting the same way you're voting, it's very reassuring. We do that for safety. We try to make sure other people do the same things we do, or we look for other people who are. And that's not necessarily helpful. Firstly, you should never try and impose your own ideas onto other people. That's just not how it works. And I'm aware that might sound a bit silly given that's what I'm doing to you right now, but I'm not trying to force anything on you. I'm just reading the cards. What you do with them, entirely your own free will. And they're not my ideas as well. I'm just a voice, a loudspeaker for spirit. So the word power is potent, I guess, with this card, because we can misuse power. Again, power is a negative word often, but it doesn't need to be. Are you letting other people overpower you? Or are you trying to overpower other people? Are you perhaps not assuming your own power to do what is right for you? Maybe it's not about other people at all. Maybe it's just you're being, pointed in the right direction of what you need to do, and you're not stepping up and taking the reins and guiding it where it needs to go. All sorts of things with that. And if you do have some blocks around that, energy healing might be the way to go. Reiki can be good for clearing chakra blocks. There are also meditations on YouTube that target specific chakras, but it's a big one. The solar plexus, I think, maybe I'm just saying that because it was a big one for me, a big source of blocks, but I think it strikes at the heart of our security, I guess. The things that we reach for to make us feel safe are all entangled in that solar plexus stuff, really, because power and control are so loaded. Anyway, I will move on from that. Okay, we'll go here next. Wednesday, last day of October, Halloween. I don't really put much significance around that in this part of the world, but I know it's a very big deal in North America. Maybe this isn't the right card deck. Maybe it is. Energy work. This is so interesting because I just spoke about energy healing. So I feel this is affirming that idea about some of you needing to look to some energy healing to clear some blocks. If that's not you, hang in there. I'll get to messages for you in a minute. So energy healing encompasses things like acupuncture, Reiki, as I mentioned, crystal clearing, even gong clearing and sound healing, all those sorts of things are about energy. What else? Kundalini yoga. I don't think many people would describe that as energy healing, but to me it is, because it's working with energy. That's just my personal take on it. It is very powerful. What other forms of energy? I can't even think of any right now. But anyway, energy healing, it's sort of an umbrella term. There is a specific branch of energy healing that I practice called Serenity Vibration Healing. If you want to know more about that, it's on my website. Just go to the healing tab, www.onegroundedangel.com. And that is a form of energy healing that works on a very deep level to untangle the core beliefs and the wounding or the traumas that are leading you to make particular choices. So it could be that some of you need to look at something like that. It doesn't have to be that, and I'm not trying to plug my own work here right now because, it's not right for everybody. But I am saying that for some of you, this idea around healing is pretty strong, and there might be some work you need to do, whether it's talking to a counsellor about why you keep getting into these situations or why you keep making the choices you make, even though you know they're not right for you. I don't know, whatever it is. Now, if none of that's right for you, this might be about your physical energy and making sure you use it better. So some of us are using a lot of physical energy on things that don't actually fill us up. Things like scrolling mindlessly through social media, except for my own work, obviously, which of course you want to spend time on. Things that, watching rubbish TV or, spending time with people who actually make us feel really crap. So it isn't necessarily about your time, but it is about you've only got a finite amount of physical energy. There are things you can do to maximize that, or multiply it, exercising being one of them, but also making sure that you're not depriving yourself of sleep. That is really important as well, but just being mindful of the way you use your physical energy. Are you using it on things that are not bringing you joy? And maybe you could argue cleaning doesn't bring you joy, but also that is pretty necessary. So maybe you're spending time on things that aren't connected to either passion or purpose, and you need to look at why you're spending time on things that aren't taking you closer to what you want to be doing or to be. So some ideas around procrastination may be coming up for you there. I talked about that a bit a few weeks ago when we had that integrity message about making sure that our actions align with the things that are important to us. And if they're not, why not? Thursday, patience. I'm not, just to backtrack a bit, I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you are not spending time on the projects that you want to do. Maybe there's a business you've been thinking of starting and you keep delaying it. I'm not trying to make you feel bad for that, but I am suggesting you look at why there might be blocks to actually doing that there, and you kind of unpack them. Thursday, patience. So please remember that everything happens in its own time. Sometimes I have people contacting me saying, am I free for an angel card reading right now? No, I'm not. I'm not. I have a waiting list. I have people booking in advance. And the reason they're doing that is because they want a quick answer. And I will always resist any attempt to do that, because if you're trying to force something, it's usually because you're not listening to your intuition enough. So the reading would always happen at the right time. And usually that is because something will need to happen in the meantime to help you get to a point where you can receive those messages with grace and with clarity. So the reason that if we were trying to force something, and we did have a message about the solar plexus in terms of control, maybe this card is for you in particular in terms of needing to let things happen as they need to happen and being patient with the process and knowing that things take as long as they take. We can't see the entire picture. We can only see as much as the universe shows us, and it can be very frustrating if what you want is not within that tiny frame. But please understand, there's so much more to play out that we can't see yet, and we just need to let that happen. So be patient, and remember that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Now, what am I going to pick up next? Friday. We've got this messages from your angels card deck. This particular one is named, each card is named after a particular angel. A lot of people get really hung up on angel names. When people ask me, what are my angel names? I'm not able to give them that information because I don't care. I don't care about angel names. They're not human. I don't need a name for them. But I understand some people it's very important. So, tangent, if you do want to find out your angel names, you can just ask them and trust your intuition on what comes through. Often it won't make a lot of sense because it's not an earthly name. Sometimes it will have no vowels. Sometimes it will be all over the shop. Sometimes it will be very normal, or a very normal name, and you'll think, really? I haven't done this, so I can't attest to it. But I'm told that some people find that very satisfying. And you can Google, there are ways to do this. You can ask for a sign if that's what you need. What I find is sometimes when people are asking for the names of the angels, it's because they're looking to see if it's someone they love who's passed on. And a reminder, I may have told you this before, your guardian angels are not loved ones who have passed on. The people who have passed on are with you. They are definitely around you, but they are not the same as the divinely appointed angels who are there to guard you your entire life. They are different, and they are the ones you should look to when you need guidance, because that's their role, and they're neutral as well. So they don't have any human hang-ups. And obviously in the next realm, when you've passed on, you don't have those either, but we can still have some connections there, if that makes sense. Anyway, Friday, Ariel is the name of this particular angel, and it's about spiritual experiences. So we've got a lot of cards, I feel, that are taking us onto a new level that we don't normally go down with these cards, of really getting higher level frequencies of messages coming through. So that's appropriate as we are in Scorpio, as I said, at the moment. So you may find you're getting new energies coming through, you're getting stronger messages coming through that you haven't had before, and that might confuse you. Trust the process and ask for a sign if you're not sure about what you're getting. It might also be showing up things that you need to work on, and that's why we're getting some really strong messages around healing, I think, in terms of the solar plexus and energy work. This card is asking you to really step into your spiritual ability, and if you're watching this, you already know you've got some level of spiritual ability. You just maybe don't necessarily know what to do with that. So you don't need to know where you're going to be leaded. You just need leaded. Where you're going to be led, you just need to start. I had no idea I was going to end up being an energy healer, and yet here we are. So what I did was, I was interested, so I just started reading. I was going through some stuff. I needed some help to make sense of that, and so I kept reading, doing courses, learning more, and eventually it led to this. So it probably is not a path I would have picked for myself at that point, and certainly is something I did not expect, but it's right. So you only get, remember that patience message, you only get a little piece of the puzzle at the time, and And that's okay. But as I say, it is disappointing for people who come to me wanting to know how the story ends. That's just not how it works. So Saturday, Lakshmi, I really hope I'm saying that right, a Hindu goddess. I apologise if I've not done so. Love this card. It's so bright because the card is about a bright future. So literally, it is just so radiant and so uplifting. It's really letting us know these wonderful things that are in our future. It's like it's associated with abundance, and it's also associated with just a shedding of that skin of worries that we're holding onto, just letting it go and stepping into something that where we feel more buoyant and more able to accept gifts and insights that are going to help us. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I should read out, actually. I don't always read out the text on these cards, but in this case I will. Stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. Okay, that's not going well. I'm dropping cards all over the shop here. So, I don't know if this is right. It's not right. Sunday. I'll try this giant card deck instead. Maybe not. The computer says no, I think. I don't know. I do feel like this is the right... Maybe it's just taking a while for the right one to get to the right place. This card deck's got something crazy, like 80 cards in it. In fact, it's 52, so a little bit out there. Okay, we got there in the end. It was worth it. Here and now, another beautiful illustration. It's about being present and recognizing the joy in what you have right now. I know there are so many more things you want to do, but the paradox is that if you don't appreciate what you have right now, you're not going to be able to reach for more. So when we make choices to get it, I hate where I'm living. This is an example, not literally universe. I hate where I'm living. I want to get somewhere else. I'm going to go move to this place. That might not work out for you because you're concentrating on getting away, you're not concentrating on where you're going. So if you can look at where you are right now, and maybe you don't love all the elements of that, but if you can see something good about it, perhaps it's just there's a lesson there that you've learnt that you wouldn't necessarily have got elsewhere, that will help you bridge the gap between the past and the future. So making peace of where we are now is the most powerful way to shift energy so that we can move forward and we can see where we need to go. But also just for your own mental well-being, being able to be present and enjoy what you have right now, really difficult in this fast-paced world, but very necessary, will help you so much. So try to enjoy what you have right now, even though it might not be perfect and it might not be what you asked for, it is for your greatest good, and there is something in there that is good for you, and so enjoy that. Or if not enjoy it, recognize it, acknowledge it, and you'll find things start to shift, and it'll be easier for you to move forward into something better. Otherwise you're just going to move into the same a form or some iteration of the same experience, which might be why if you're someone who keeps attracting the same type of partner who's not right for you, that might be part of what's going on there, or it might just be connected to, appropriately, given I've just got this energy work card here, it might be connected to some work you need to do on yourself in terms of some clearing of some energy and addressing some past, because we are in a Venus retrograde, it's quite an appropriate example, some past experience that has put you on, or is leading you to formulate a belief about what you are capable of, what you deserve, or even just leading you to keep attracting the same situation because it needs to be healed. Sometimes that's the only reason we attract things. It's not necessarily because we want it. Not because of any part of us wants it. It is actually. It's our energy wants it, so it can work through it. But we have to allow that. Anyway, summary of the week. I'm so sorry. I've been off on so many tangents today. The strong theme is around getting to a deeper level of spiritual understanding. There are a lot of lessons coming through right now allow them in. That's what you're being asked to do, and to try not to get caught up in the worry cycle, or to try to make rational sense. Sometimes we just can't do that. So we're getting a push to start on our projects and to get moving, but also to be patient when they're not happening as quickly as we would like them to do, and to understand that. Am I working the right way here? Oh, to understand that maybe it's because you've got some work to do in the present that you might not be moving forward with that. I did mention procrastination and passing, and that's certainly connected there. Some ideas about power and control came through as well. And that's definitely connected when we're trying to force things to happen faster than they needed to. That's definitely connected with, that message about patience and needing to allow things to play out in their own time. So it's a big week, I think, for our healing, our progression, and our personal development. Thank you very much for watching, and these will go up on my social media at One Grounded Angel, and my Facebook page is One Grounded Angel. You can reach me if you if you want to book a session for your own healing, or you want to tell me how these cards have resonated with you. I always love to hear that. You can do that by commenting on my Instagram. I have to admit I don't check the comments all that often, because sometimes it's a bit overwhelming and I'm trying to manage my time better in that sense. But definitely, if you are wanting a reading, the best thing to do is to go to my page, www.onegroundedangel.com, and go to the bookings tab. Thank you very much for watching, and have a terrific week.